We had a lot of trades going on. And not just one. What LeBron say?
Not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven.
You're probably wondering, dang, there's no trades all season other than the, Will and TLew trade. What happened?
What could have possibly kicked that off?
I'm gonna have to say it was Eric and Joe. Now, there's a follow-up to this. Eric and Joe traded at like midnight, and it was a Geno Smith for Deontay Johnson. And I was kind of confused. I was like, I mean, okay, like I guess. And then I guess Keyway saw that, went to sleep upset about the fact that Pollard had an open touchdown, which was low key a pass interference, and he dropped it, and they lost. But you mean to tell me that you're gonna wake up still bitter? Clearly, you're gonna trade away a top 5 fantasy quarterback and your best running back in Tony Pollard for Kenneth Walker, and you're probably like, oh, who else? Nah, that was a trade. That was it. And I remember I woke up, I'm like confused because I'm like, damn, it's usually when you get all those notifications, usually the wee hours of the morning, it's because the waiver period cleared. By the time I was like on my way to work, I got another. The league has vetoed that trade. I'm like, damn,
we did the damn thing.
I was like, that's the quickest veto since
I think ever.
Yeah, like that was insane. I'm like, damn. 3 upvotes and 6 or 5, however many it's needed vetoes. And
3 upvotes. I wonder who the 3 were.
Yeah, I got it was
well, you got one right here.
Yeah, who could the other 2 have possibly been? You know what I'm saying?
I'll let y'all come up with that one.
And yeah, that shit got vetoed. And Kiwi's just like, he was probably like, all right. And what's great? We're adulting. No one brought the torches out. No one complained. No one had the group chat
thing on our own.
They just voted, went to work, did what they had to do, and that was it. No one complained, nothing. And then all of a sudden, I get to work, sit in my cubicle. Tony Pollard and Justin Herbert. I'm like, yo, don't tell me he's gonna do this shit again, where they just keep doing the same trade until it goes through, which is not gonna happen. But this time it was with Danny, and I was like, and it was for Dak Prescott, Terry McLaurin, and Austin Eckler. And I was like, which was a way better trade than the first one. So, I voted to uphold it. And that was the quickest upvotes I've seen since, the trade with Will and I. It was like 4 upvotes in a mere of like 3 minutes. I'm like, damn. And I think it finished with 6. So, I mean, I guess that is what it is. Then we had another trade. Oh, wait, there's more. Yeah, Calvin Ridley and Damian Pierce by Gamblers Anonymous for CeeDee Lamb from the best 8th seed ever. I was just like, Cowboys fans, you know how they get. I was like, okay. And then after that, this is when I'm getting ready to go on my lunch break. I see the best 8th seed ever traded again. I was like, oh my. And it was with Waterhouse. Waterhouse again. Bijan Robinson, George Kittle, Tyler Lockett for Sam Laporta, Jalen Waddle, and Jerome Ford. We got love for Waddle. We both had him. We both thrived off.
I know what Waddle can do for you.
And
pause.
And he just gonna trade away our guy like that. All right, Danny, I see you. But
team name is Waddle House, by the way. But yeah,
that's what I'm
guess
saying.
You gotta look for another name.
It won't be Comerica great again, that's for sure. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I was like, damn.
Sore feelings, bro.
I was sick. And oh wait, that was it actually. That was the last trade. Wait, there's another trade. Keyway again. Gus Edwards, Puka, for Brian Robinson Jr. By the best 8th seed ever. So Carlo traded twice, Danny traded twice, and Keyway traded twice. If my math is right, I think my math is mathing.
And then Joe traded once.
Yeah, and all of this to say, one, what are your thoughts on the trades itself, and secondly, who do you think started this wildfire? I think it was Eric, and I think that planted the seed for Keyway. And then once Keyway did it, I think the dominoes just all fell, and I'm just like, damn, when can I get a trade? And I was getting a little excited. I didn't get one.
I didn't get one either. Here's my all right. So it's a lot. It's a lot to unpack here. Pause. Um, first things first, I think the person who kicked it off is actually low key Kiwi. Eric might have planted the seed for Kiwi to do it, but I don't think most of us kind of didn't even notice that Eric did this because like
I
Kiwi's
forgot.
trade just kind of like it just took over. Like I mean,
I know
I
you can.
think
Mhm.
it's like a literal loss for words. It's like speechless because it's like to trade two players for one, to trade two better players for one lesser player. It's almost like that is almost 1000% collusion. It almost seems like there should be some type of punishment for that because it's like, didn't we discuss like, yo, like if we're didn't the league commissioner himself say if there's any collusion that you're risking losing a pick or something like that in the group chat. It didn't make any rounds or anything, but I do recall something like that being said or some punishment taking place for collusion. If that's not collusion, I don't know what is. Like Keyway literally said, and we got receipts in the group chat. If I lose today, I'm at the on the verge of giving up or something to that extent. Like I can't quote me, but something to that extent. He lost, and then he made the trade because Shiv also gave up everything. He literally said like he woke up and it was like Christmas morning. So that tells me Kiwi made the trade. So Kiwi was willing to trade his pretty much his two best players, two of his top five players, for one of Shiv's lesser, worse players. One to collude to help his boy out. What are we doing? Like that's my like we know there are stakes this year, right? Like we know last place has to do a punishment. The fact that Kiwi knows this kind of begs into the question, well, have you given up? Are you willing to do the punishment? Like what's going on here? I want to know cuz I know I'm going to go ahead and say it cuz I know you weren't going to say it, but had that been you, they would have brought their pitchforks out. They would have started like a whole like I don't want to say war because times are sensitive right now, but they would have started a big thing out of it. They wouldn't have shut up about it for weeks on weeks on weeks. I'll even name the people who would have had a big problem with this that didn't say anything about Kiwi doing this. Danny, you ain't say nothing, right? You ain't say nothing. Joe, Joe harped on that Luca trade for a long time. You ain't say anything about that either. And them two were the main ones getting on Kenny. Kenny was kicked out of a league for not for colluding, right? And even that trade that Kenny made was come on, bro. That was way better of a trade in a league that we all say we don't care about because we say we don't care about basketball, right? But we could all agree we care about football much more. And this guy made I don't blame Shiv at all. I blame Kiwi. This guy made the most unfair trade possible. And he just because he didn't get away with it, there's no repercussions. But had that been anybody else, that's all I'm gonna say. It's all I'm gonna say. I don't have anything much to add. And I'm not trying to start a beef. Because let me put this disclaimer out too. Because anytime I say something or TLew A. Smith says something, somebody wants to like get in their feelings in the group chat. It happens. It's pretty much happened the last 3 episodes. This isn't for anybody to get in their feelings, but shit, if you get into your feelings, I said what I said, and I'm standing on it. That's
You,
it.
you know what, man? I ain't even gonna edit that whole segment out, bro. But first off, I want to give a round of applause, man. I didn't want to say it because obviously I'm the one involved. But I absolutely agree with that. Had that been me, you would have saw the little 4+ messages was sent in the fantasy chat. People snapping. He always does this. Ah,
Why is it always him? Bro, you gave
yeah.
you like
That's the
the
one.
Mahomes and Kelsey trade, you pretty much gutted your team.
Yeah.
Granted, you're 4-2 and like Will is like 2 and whatever, but like it like I don't see like the energy. It's not like they're acting like you got like 5 rings, everybody else got like 0 or 1 or something. Like, bro, you got two. Like Eric doesn't get this type of energy, like Kiwi doesn't get this type of energy. And this is my like hint hint, my Mount Rushmore, like it'll come out later. But we got Mount Rushmore people that aren't getting this type of energy, bro. So it's like I don't really get it. And let me to just to touch on the other trades, and I know you asked about the other trades. They're great, cool, whatever. They don't really doesn't really do anything for me. Doesn't move the needle at all. Like I think Carlo, he panicked and made some trades that really he didn't have to make. But then again, I don't see it changing much for him. But hey, man, he got rid of Kittle, who I know he's seventh tight end or whatever, but like Kittle's the second best tight end in the NFL. We all know mentally. Like at any point, I had Kittle. I used to be frustrated too at Kittle the last few weeks. Wasn't one of the reasons I won a championship, but he was hell bent on giving up Kittle. I guess cool, whatever. He gave up both of the Robinson guys, and you know, cool for him. Danny, I think Danny got better, obviously, but I wouldn't have traded Jalen Waddle because it seemed like people were trigger happy. So you probably could have gotten these players for less, but no good for him. Joe, I think Joe's team got worse, to be honest. I don't
Oh
think
shit.
it was necessary to, he's a Cowboys fan. I get it. He loves CeeDee Lamb. I mean, he wanted a receiver badly. I don't think I trade for that receiver. Maybe, you trade for someone else, try to see if you could get, and then later on, you can make that trade. Because my thing is like these guys all made this trade so early. Like, when is the deadline? 2, 3, 4 weeks
Yeah,
out?
honestly, I tried to set it for like Thanksgiving, but I think it's like literally the end of the season, and I'm not gonna
Yeah.
adjust it. So yeah.
Yeah. So, like, we didn't have to panic and make these trades. Now, it makes things a lot more interesting because we'll
Oh
see
yeah.
if it truly impacted anyone or not. I think Kiwi panicked a little bit, just gutted his team, and now he's going to be in a stalemate with Quan, who literally he lost his first pick, and he's still like
Yo,
projected
Quan.
either 2 points less or 2 points more, something like that. And Kiwi was literally went from like 110 last week projected to like whatever now. So I don't want to get too much on him because like, I don't want anything to get personal. Obviously, this isn't for anyone to get personal, but these are just my thoughts. I don't think this made the impact that it was supposed to make, to be honest. I think this was all like much to do about nothing, made for an exciting week, but I think that's all that's gonna happen. The best team is still Big Baller Brand. The
Yeah,
Dalvin and the Chipmunks, like, you know,
yeah,
these Kenny's team, whatever he
yeah.
decides to name his team, those are still the three best teams. Like when we make our tier list, I don't foresee that changing. So, and I don't think any of this is gonna impact it.
Talk
But yeah,
talk that talk, talk that talk, Eddie.